beautiful humans. My name is Taryn and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about all of the books that I read in August. August, y'all, was an amazing reading month for me. I read 25 books and I don't remember rating any of them lower than a 3-star. Granted, I like to rate my books high. I'm a high rater and I'm okay with that. Don't come for me, okay? If any book brings me any type of joy, I give it a high rating. And I don't read books that don't bring me joy, you know? Anywho, let's begin. This is gonna be in no particular order, and I will probably be looking at my phone a lot of the time to like look at my Goodreads because this is a lot of books and I don't particularly remember everything about them, you know? Anywho, let's do this. Starting off with The Summer of Broken Rules by K.A. Walther. I gave it 4 stars. This was really such a cute summer read. Like a cute summer YA read. I was really scared to read this because a lot of people on Instagram said that like they got a little bored with it, but my best friend messaged me after she read it and she was like, Taryn, I think you'll really like it. And I did. I loved it. You are following, who are you following? You're following Meredith? You are following Meredith, who goes to Vineyard Vines every single year with her family, and she recently just lost her older sister. So it's like their first time going back to Martha's Vineyard after like 2 years of them being away. Anyway, the entire family plays this game of assassin, which is just like tag but with water guns pretty much. It's the entire book is based off of that game and I loved every single bit of it. I will say that Homegirl has like a lot of balls. Like me in high school would not be doing, like she straight up told this boy, I like your lips, I want to kiss them. Never in my life. But it was cute, it was good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Next we have Nuncha Sleep by Ellie Marney. I listened to this on audio. I gave it 3 stars because it was good. Like I mean I listened to it in a day. It was a super fast, easy listen, read, whatever. But I had just been listening to other YA thrillers like right before this, and this just did not meet those standards, but I still thought it was good. You are following 2 18-year-olds who are pretty much hired by the FBI to interview teenagers, well, to interview teenage serial killers. And yeah, I don't honestly remember a bunch of it, but I do have the second one already because the covers are just so awesome. Another thriller that I listened to this month was Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. I really like this one. I gave it 3.75 stars. It was almost a 4, and that's because I think I was like expecting, so this follows a husband and a wife, and they like look like this amazing perfect couple, and they're very just much not. And a lot of thrillers that I have read, normally like it makes the guy seem like he's crazy but it's always the girl. This is not that. Like it took what I was expecting and threw it out the window. I was not expecting this book. It was very twisted, very crazy, but I did enjoy it. I really liked the audio. I do recommend listening to the audio, but I do love to listen to audio or thrillers on audio. I just kind of wish that, I don't know, the thrill aspect of it wasn't really there for me. It was more not horror because it wasn't gory or anything but like that, but like, I don't know, I wasn't sitting on the edge of my seat, if that makes sense. And then the end of it was just wrapped up so quickly. I just wanted like one more chapter, you know, and it just didn't give it to me. But I still liked it. And if you want something that's like dark and twisted, then I think this is your way to go. But I wouldn't go into it thinking it's a thriller. I then continued my reread of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. This is book 2. This is The Sea of Monsters, and I am just so happy that I'm rereading these. I grew up with Percy Jackson. I absolutely love Greek mythology, and these books are just fun. It's a fun time. And if you haven't read Percy Jackson before, I suggest that you give it a try. I really do. I was a Percy Jackson person growing up and not a Harry Potter person. I have read Harry Potter already though. Like I just read it this year, loved it. But Percy will always have my heart. I'm not going to go into what that one's about. It's the second book in a series. It's Greek mythology. It's like they're half-blood, so they're like half Greek, god and half humans, and there's a whole camp, and it's really cool. Anyway, another YA fantasy, whatever. I finished the Shadow and Bone series. I read Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo, and this is hands down the best book in that little trilogy. It's the last one, and I just wish that the other two books were this good. Like, why the found family in this book alone was perfect, lovely. I was sobbing while reading this, and I didn't shed a single tear in the other two books, so I was not expecting that at all. I read this in my 24-hour readathon, so if you want a little bit more thoughts on this, or if you want to see me crying, you can go check that out. But I really enjoyed this. Oh, I gave this 4 stars, I think. 4.25. Next, I continued the Naturals series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I read Killer Instinct, which is the second book, and All In. I gave Killer Instinct 5 stars. These books are amazing, but I did give All In 4.5 stars because it took me a really long time to read. I just feel like it was just not as fast paced as the other two, like the first and the second one, but the series is everything to me. Think Criminal Minds, but YA. There's like oh my gosh, one of these characters is like Spencer Reed, who is my favorite human in the entire world, and she's also my favorite character. Oh my god, I love this series so much, and I only have one more book left, and it's on my September TBR, and I am so excited to get to it. I actually think I'm starting it today. I also read In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. This is the second book in the Love Light Farm series. I gave this one 4 stars. It was super cute, so I don't even know who I followed though. This follows Evelyn and Beckett. Evelyn is a social media influencer, and Beckett works on Love Light Farms, which takes place in like the first book, and like he's, you know, grumpy farmer, and she's yeah, she's pretty sunshiny. She's a sunshiny influencer, and she's trying to figure out her life, and she's trying to find her happy again, and the last place that she remembers being happy is at the farm with Beckett, so she goes back. They end up living together, kind of. Beckett lives in like the biggest house on the farm, so she lives in a room with him, and they had a one-night stand. Wow, I forgot about that. Is that even in here? Okay, yeah, they had a one-night stand, and then she comes back to the farm, and then it's kind of like they rekindle. It's cute, but I think it was a little bit slow, and that's why I didn't give it a 5 stars, but I still thought it was cute. I tapped it. It was fun. It was cute. It was a cute read. The covers of these books are so cute. I also read Lotus by Jennifer Hartman, and this book owns my heart and my soul. It took my heart out, smashed it into a million pieces, and then put it back together, but also like times it by 2. Like, my heart grew reading this book. I loved this book. This is like soulmates, people who were meant to be together. That is what this book is about. It's a dark romance, but I definitely don't think it is as dark as like her other book, Still Beating, but it was amazing. I gave it 5 stars, in case I didn't say that, or you can't tell by the way that I'm talking about it, and I do think that everyone should absolutely read this. Oh my god, it was so heartwarming. I was sobbing like most of the book. I did guess what was gonna happen, but I was okay with it because it still was wild. Next, we have Vipers and Virtuosos by Sav R. Miller. This is the second book in her Monsters and Muses series, and I really liked it. I gave it 3 stars. I'm gonna read you my review for it because I don't remember it very much. So I said this was a ride. So I don't think the whole stalker trope is for me, but also I was getting multiple times throughout this book, so I'm just confused. Yeah, so you know when like in dark romances the guy is like her stalker and they end up falling in love? I just don't know that the whole stalker thing is for me, you know? But again, I do remember like being like while reading it, you know? So 3 stars. I'm gonna keep reading the series. Oh my mother effing Lord have mercy. The Right Move by Liz Tomford. Read this right now. Put this and Mile High on your TBR. Literally right now. Open up a new tab. Go to Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Books A Million, whatever, wherever you buy your books from, and put these in your cart and then purchase them. Okay, because you need them in your life. These men, this man specifically, okay? Ryan Shea, perfect specimen. They are thick books, like this is like at least 535 pages, same thing with the other one, but they are so good. 5 stars, easily 5 stars. Do you see these tabs? I couldn't stop because Ryan Shea is perfect. Because Indy, perfect. I loved it. I loved it. This is also in a reading vlog that I did a few videos back where I was like walking on the walking pad and sobbing while reading this because he's just so sweet and they're just so meant to be together. So then like the third act breakup happened, I was absolutely torn apart. But it's amazing. I also read Sunkissed by Casey West. I read this during my 24-hour readathon as well. So if you want, you know, a lot of detail about it, you can go check it out over there. But this was just a cute little summer read. I wanted to read it before the summer was over, even though I live in Florida and it's hot and summer all the time. But you know how like some YA romances you like read and then you put down and then you read and then you put down because it's just like not keeping you fully entertained. Well, this kept me very much entertained the entire time. I gave it 4 stars. I don't know if I said that already. You're following Avery and her family. They go on this summer vacation to a cabin in the woods, like a, I don't know what to call it, like a resort kind of, because they have like resort activities. Anyway, she meets a counselor there, a camp counselor, and it's just a cute YA romance, and I really enjoyed it. So that's this one. Another summary read that I read in August was Second Chance Vacation by Nicole Ryan. All right, I gave it 3 stars. I said this was such a cute summery romance. We love a good The One That Got Away. Second chance, obviously, you know. I love Jackson so much, this sweet man, but Jen made me want to scream. I literally just wanted to grab her by the shoulders and shake her multiple times throughout the book. The ending was adorable and highly looking forward to Hannah and Liam's book, which are 2 characters from here. So those are my thoughts. She spends like 3 weeks with her ex-boyfriend in the French Riviera, and it's just second chance. It was cute. Again, he stole the show for sure. Another thriller that I listened to this month was I Know Who You Are by Alice Feeney, and I'm an Alice Feeney stan until the day that I die. But actually, what the hell was this book? I gave it 3 stars. I actually, did I give it 2.5? I might have given it 2.5 because of just how gross the twist was. God, if you've read this is how I kind of felt while reading Credence. Like, you know how you're just like, ew, what's going on? You know? But like you'll never forget it a day in your life. Oh my gosh, what did I rate this? I rated it 3 stars. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. This was something. Let me read you what it's about. Meet Amy Sinclair, the actress everyone thinks they know but can't remember how, except one person. Someone knows Amy very well. They know who she is and they know what she did. When Amy comes home and discovers her husband is missing, she doesn't seem to know sorry, I just remembered the book. What to do or how to act. The police think she's hiding something, and they're right, she is, but perhaps not what they thought. Amy has a secret she's never shared, and yet she suspects that someone knows. As she struggles to keep her career and sanity intact, her past comes back to haunt her in ways more dangerous than she could have ever imagined. If you want something that will give you the ick, but will also never let you forget it, then you can pick this book up. I listened to the audio and it was a ride. It was a ride. Oh my gosh. I didn't tab this book. That's insane. I can't believe I did that to myself. I read 3 Sarah Adams books, but I did read the When in Rome and Practice Makes Perfect little duet by Sarah Adams, and I gave them both 5 stars. They were so cute. So When in Rome, y'all, the first ever book that I read by Sarah Adams, the main guy was very golden retriever, and I think that just like it threw me off. I was just like, ugh, he's too nice. But Noah, who's the main guy in this book, was grumpy, and Sarah Adams' grumpy guys, they're hands down one of the cutest books I've ever read. You know, I thought, until I then picked up Practice Makes Perfect, because this was so freaking cute. Again, another grumpy guy, another super sunshiny girl, and they just made my heart sing. Oh my god, I loved it so much. Like, so it's actually the main guy in When in Rome, his sister, and the main girl, her bodyguard, and they get together, and it was just everything. Look at my little pink tabs. I ate it up. I ate it up. I loved it so much. You know, just like cute rom-com. Those were perfect cute rom-coms. I guess while we're talking about Sarah Adams books, I also read The Match by her, and I gave this book 4 stars. I thought it was super cute. Definitely not as cute as those two, but adorable nonetheless. So we have who is this guy? Jake and Amelia. Nope, that's another girl. Evie. Jake and Evie. Evie works for a Southern service paws, so she like trains service dogs, and Jake is a single dad whose daughter has epilepsy and wants a service dog, and they, you know, start off on the wrong foot, but then he's like, dang, I was mean, and my daughter really needs this dog, like it's really gonna make her so happy, and I want to be the best single dad in the entire world. So then he like reaches out to Evie again, and they become really good friends, and it's just adorable. I will say it's a little like too cutesy wootsy for me, you know, like she's very Southern. Like what is this? This is called the It Happened in Charleston duet, and what is this, like Charleston, North Carolina? Like I have family up there. They're not this Southern. Like they're not calling each other mommy and pop daddy. There it is. That's the word. Mommy and daddy. And she calls her parents that. And I just like, you know, little things like that I just can't get behind sometimes, and I couldn't get behind it in this book. That's why I gave it 4 stars, but I still thought it was really cute. So, okay, I have 4 more physical books, and then I have my Kindle reads of the month. So I also read Too Beautiful to Break by Tessa Bailey. This is the last book in the Romancing the Clarkson series. I'm so glad I'm done with the series. I love Tessa Bailey. I love her so much, but this series was very much not it for me. But this one was definitely my favorite, and I still only gave it 3.75 stars. This follows Belmont and Sage, and Belmont went through something when he was very young, and now he is just a quiet broody guy. And throughout all of the other books, Belmont and Sage are very much like dependent of each other, but they're not together. And then in this book, Sage like leaves him, and he has a big fuss about it, and he's like, I can't leave Sage. He's very caveman. And they're both virgins, and you know, that's fine, but I just had like full body shudders, because it was just like, some of the things that were said in this book should never be written in a book. Ick, you know? And yet it still was the best in the series. So there we go. I'm gonna save my best for last, okay? I also read The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson. I listened to this. This is the 3rd book in the Truly Devious series, or maybe this is like the end of the trilogy. I think this is the end of the trilogy, because we finally get to learn like what the big mystery was in the first book. Like you finally figure out who did it, and I liked it. I think, I don't know, I gave it 3.5 stars maybe. Okay, I gave it 4 stars. I really think though that because I've been reading the Natural series, like that has my standards so high for YA mystery thriller type things. So then when I read like things like this, like they just don't hit that mark that the Naturals is hitting for me. But I still enjoyed it. I liked how it ended. What else did I say? I really just said that it was the best in the series. I feel like the characters were finally developed, and I really enjoyed like not having to like grow with them again. if that makes sense, or not grow with them, but like learn them. I don't know what I'm saying, but I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. And then because I'm doing 25 hard, I had to read a self-help book. I have to read 10 pages of a self-help book every single day, or like a growth book, however you want to call them, every day. So I was, sorry, my camera died, so the background might look a little different. But anyway, I read Believe It by Jamie Kern Lima. This is the owner of It Cosmetics. I thought that it was a self-help, but it's kind of more of a biography, which I wasn't expecting, but I'm not going to rate this because it's somebody's life. So I did read this though. And then the last physical book that I read that was absolutely my favorite book from this month was Magnolia Parks, The Long Way Home. This book utterly shattered me and was amazing. And I do think that everyone who has ever loved Gossip Girl and Chuck and Blair's relationship should 1000,000,000% read this series. The writing is so strange to get into, like for the first 2 chapters, and then after those 2 chapters you're like, wow, this is the best writing that I've ever read in my entire life. I love being inside the characters' heads like this. At least that's what I was like. And I just think that everyone should read this. I can't tell you a single thing about this one particularly because it's the 3rd book in the series, but it was amazing and I give it 500 million stars. And I tapped it. And I loved it. Okay, now let's talk about all the books that I read on my cutie little Kindle. Look at me, a Kindle girly now. Okay, I don't remember what I read. Oh, I read The Inmate by Frida McFadden. I will put it here. I read The Inmate by Frida McFadden. Actually, did I listen to this one? I did listen to it. I listened to it in a day. It was a very, very fast read for me. Frida has like the best way of keeping me hooked from start to finish. Like, I don't remember being bored once throughout this entire book. I did guess the plot, kind of, but then it also was kind of like, whoa. And I remember listening to it and being like like multiple times, which is always good, but I did give it 4 stars because I just always feel like I need something more from a thriller, and I just want one thriller to give me that more, you know? The only one that's ever done that is The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. That book was wild, but lo and behold, that I did not read that this month, so we're not going to talk about it. And then another thriller that I listened to / read on my Kindle was The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose, and here's what I had to say about this. This was another thriller that I like listened to in a day because I was trying to hit 25 books this month. I said completely guessed the ending before I even read the book, but throughout the book had so many different thoughts on what could have happened. So like, I really liked it. This emoji. Yeah, so like when I read the back of the book, I was like, oh, I definitely know the way this is going. But then listening to it, I was like, oh my god, maybe it goes a different way. Whoa, maybe this happened. Whoa, maybe this happened. And then it ended up with exactly what I thought would happen. So homeboy is actually cheating on his wife, who is a lawyer, and then one day his mistress comes up dead, so he's like the first one on the suspect list, and his wife is the one that is his lawyer in court and is trying to get him like off the hook. So it was good. I still gave it 4 stars. And then Tik Tok got to me, okay? I have not read a book like ACOTAR in a long time. Like, you know, that enemies to lovers, that just like the romance, the what's it called? Romantasy. Enemies to lovers that just like, oh my god, it hits you in the heart. You know, I've just been missing it. I read ACOTAR last year. I need to do a reread of it. I read Fourth Wing. That was amazing, but I want the next one to come out so bad because of that ending. And I just needed another romantasy that could just like suck me in. So I went to Tik Tok, as one does, and I found the Lachlan Feuds series. Everyone was talking about it, said it was amazing. It's on Kindle Unlimited, all 4 books. I read the first one. I read the first book. It was like 260 pages, okay? So I was like, it can't be that bad. The first 200 pages, I could not get through. I could not get through. It was so boring, so boring. And like, I know that fantasy is a lot of world building, okay? It didn't feel like world building at all. I read the first book, I read A Court of Thorns and Roses in one day. Okay, that has a lot of world building. This one was just boring, but the last 60 pages did hit it for me, and I gave it 3 stars. I gave it 3 stars. Okay, the ending really just pushed it over that edge. And then the only reason that I went to the second book was because I wanted to hit 25 books this month. So I read the second one. I take it all back. I take it all back. This series is amazing and I love it and I can't stop reading it. I last night in my bed was just like, oh my god, what happens, like freaking out. And the entire series on Kindle Unlimited, the authors put like bonus chapters in there, which they were like, don't read if you don't want spoilers. Give me all the spoilers, because you know how it goes in, you know, romantasy books. Like, at least my brain, like, I don't care. I will spoil a book for myself. I do not care. As long as it's amazing, I'll still give it 5 stars. I don't give a shit, you know? And so I was reading the bonus chapters. Read the bonus chapters while you're going through it. It's so good. The second book was amazing. Oh my god, I loved it so much. I gave it 4.5 stars, and the only reason I gave it 4.5 instead of 5 was because the ending pissed me off, and I know that they just did that so that I can continue reading, but I don't want it to end that way. I want it to end better. So I'm gonna be continuing that series soon. What are the actual books called? So the first book in that series is called The Scarlet Princess, and this is by Robin D. Male and L. Madison. And just the way that they write, again, the first book boring as shit, but the second book, oh my god, it's when you know the enemies become more that I'm just like and then the second book is called Tarnished Crown. So Scarlet Princess and Tarnished Crown, those are the first and the second book in the series. There's 4, and I think that you should read it. I think that you should take what I said though about that first book and be like, okay, Taryn said it wasn't good, but we're just gonna push through it, and then push through it, and then you're gonna get to that second book and the enemies are gonna become non-enemies, and you're just gonna be like, oh, you know. And I do recommend reading the bonus chapters. I mean, if you don't care to have things spoiled, like I don't care to have things spoiled, I think it just makes it better, because what it is you're just reading things in different points of view, and I think that that's a fun thing to do. Okay, so those are the 25 books that I read in the month of August. Such a good reading month. Wow. Wild. Insane. I don't know what in my right mind was like, hey Taryn, you should read 25 books this month, but I did it. And I'm proud of myself. And then next month I'll probably read 12, and I'm okay with that because that was a lot of books. I do think that my like 24-hour readathon helped so much though. But please, however many books that you read is amazing. Do not compare yourself to other readers, please. Some months I'll read this many, some months I'll read 4 books, okay? Do not compare yourself to others. Reading a book is reading a book, and that is good. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Let me know what book was your favorite from the month of August. Again, mine was probably Magnolia Parks, The Long Way Home, but also The Right Move, but also Practice Makes Perfect. Yeah, those were probably top three of this month. But let me know yours down below so that I can add it to my never-ending TBR. We love to do that. I hope you have an amazing day, night, week, month, and a year. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, beautiful humans.